Hi, this is Morley and this is the M-Wire. In this video, we're going to look at how California Legislature passes bill to lessen penalties for child sex offenders within 10 years of the victim's age. I'd like to thank all my new subscribers. Thank you very much for your support. I greatly appreciate it. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Your support will not go unnoticed. I'm going to try and do this video while simultaneously containing the vomit rising in my throat, because let's start with the blatantly obvious. This is sick and disgusting. Our society is obviously trying to normalize relations between adults and children, which is sick. It doesn't require any elaboration. Children cannot fathom what sex is, what it's for, and the implications of it. Children generally are naive. I hate to say it, but they are. That's just their nature. They implicitly trust adults, and this swings the door open to so many different aspects of this, such as child trafficking and whatnot. There are just no words for it, really. I mean, this will definitely lead to an uprising in vigilantism if it is passed. I mean, it's basically in Gavin Newsom's hands. Only he can veto it at this point. But the whole point of this is to protect the offendees so that they can, make it easier for them to get a job, so they're not stigmatized by society as a child sex offender. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't especially care if a pedophile can find a job or not. Call me cold, call me callous, if you will, but that doesn't really keep me up at night that a child sex offender is incapable of finding employment because of his crime. But I mean, if this law is passed, look at the vigilantism that will transpire because of it. I mean, some father out there isn't going to care what the law is if he finds out that an adult, had relations with his 8-year-old daughter. He's not going to care about that. If I were to draw a conjecture as to what he's going to do, I would say that he's pretty much going to take the law into his own hands, sad to say. But I mean, we're dealing with the emotions of parents here, and that can be a very sensitive thing. And they're not going to care about what the laws are and stuff like that. Instead of passing a law like this, why don't we do something really crazy, like have mental health professionals deal with these people that have a proclivity towards children? I mean, I'm all for rehabilitation, okay? Prison necessarily isn't the answer, because that's after the crime is done. I mean, we have to stop normalizing this and start telling people, look, your attraction to children is not normal. Okay? We just have to flat out say it. But unfortunately, our society is that we're too politically correct to say that. Well, we need to start saying it. I mean, the answer is to prevent the crime before it happens, is it not? Do I not have it right? Am I dreaming here? Please, somebody, anybody, please tell me. I mean, this is the beginning of the end of our society, folks. I don't mean to sound, that dire and stuff like that, but history has proven whatever you allow this type of perversion into your society, it's the downfall of the society. The Roman Empire proved that to a T. I mean, the Roman Empire, basically, there was all kinds of brothels and weird sexual practices going, and it turned out to be the downfall of their society. And there's no reason to think that history won't repeat itself. Let's get into this article here. Revolting. California Legislature passes bill to lessen penalties for child sex offenders less than 10 years older than the victims. The California Legislature passed a bill that would lessen criminal penalties for adults convicted of sexual activity with minors on Monday night, potentially keeping those who engage in some forms of intercourse with minors less than 10 years younger than them off the state's sex offender registry. SB 145 would apply existing criminal standards for vaginal sexual intercourse between an adult and a minor to oral and anal sexual acts. Currently, the convicted Those convicted of engaging in vaginal intercourse with minors less than 10 years younger than them are now required to enroll in the state sex offender registry at the judge's discretion. San Francisco State Senator Scott Wiener has spearheaded the legislation. Wiener claims existing state law disproportionately targets LGBT young people for mandatory sex offender registration, since LGBT people usually cannot engage in vaginal intercourse. Wiener previously made himself a target of criticism when he pushed the legislation that reduced the criminal penalty for willfully exposing one's sexual partners to HIV a misdemeanor. Such activity was previously a felony in the state of California. California Republicans are pushing for Governor Gavin Newsom to veto the legislation, which may be the first of its kind in any state in the country. If he doesn't, criminal sanctions on sex acts between adults and children in the state of California will be significantly reduced. I implore everyone listening right now to do two things. Whether you live in California or not, send Gavin Newsom an email telling him exactly what you think of this, because this is going to set precedent in other states, folks. If this bill passes, every other state will be, well, they're doing it in California, let's do it here. This cannot go through. Secondly, I ask that you share my video. People have to become aware of this, please. I seldom implore people to share videos like this, but if you would, that would be greatly appreciated. And please comment on this. I want to know what you think. I want to know what you think, where our society is going regarding laws like this, please. God bless you all.